Rock and roll may live forever, but we only retire once. Kevin Lamour of Our Financial Plans and Quadris Investment Services offers a large range of financial solutions from some of the biggest leaders in the investment and insurance landscape of Canada. See how a solid financial plan built with friendly and professional advice can help. Find out more at ourfinancialplans.ca or give them a call at 705-949-1316. Hey folks, how are you? And welcome to another episode of the Lonesome Cowboy Podcast. And today I have on the program Will, Payne, Harrison, all the way from Nashville. How you doing, Will?
Good. How are you doing?
Excellent, sir. Excellent. So, you got a couple of albums under your belt and some EPs,
Yeah.
and now you're looking to finance um, another album. How's that coming along?
Well, it's wrapping up. I mixed my first single and it releases on February 28th. That's High as Willie. And then I'm kind of taking the mixing and mastering as they come, so I don't have to mix and master the whole album all at once. But there's probably 11 or 12 songs on the record, and
Cool.
yeah, they're all pretty much done. I got a couple more guitar parts to do on some.
Yeah, yeah. The little cleanup bits in that you
Yeah.
have to go. So, can you tell everybody what the album is like? Is it going to be about anything? Have a central theme, or what's going on with it?
It actually does, yeah. So this is technically my 10-year town album. So I've been in Nashville for 10 years as of May. Well, when it releases, it'll be 11. But I wrote all the songs in my 10th year, and they're a lot about just how frustrating it can be. Which we were just talking before you started recording about
Hmm.
selling your gear and getting the hell out of it. But trying
Yeah,
trying to stick through. So there's definitely a common theme of that throughout the whole thing. There's some heartbreak songs in there because there's got to be.
of
But
course. Yeah, that's the way to do it. Now, you were born in Louisiana and then you moved to Nashville.
yep.
I've heard a couple of schools of thought on Nashville. I've been there myself. Traveled there one time many years ago. My wife made it onto that TV show, a talent show called Be a Star. I had to go travel to Nashville 4 times in a month.
Wow.
Yeah, so the school of thought is that either it's a place to be or it's a place to avoid. And when it comes to music. How's it working out for you? And has it made a difference in your career?
Yeah. Well, Willie calls it the store. You come in and you get the players and the managers and the whatever you need while you're here, and then you leave. You don't stay in the store, right? Um, I'm here because I'm raising a daughter, and so I'm definitely here because I need to be. But
Mhm.
Louisiana is where my heart is. I love it there, and my partner is from California, and we're gonna go visit out there. So,
Nice.
we like to see the world and get out. That's one of the best part about being in Nashville is you can, this summer we're gonna be, everywhere: Cincinnati, Kansas City,
Yeah. Yeah.
Louisiana, Texas, so Colorado. So,
Nice.
it it's kind of centrally located, which makes it really nice to tour. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. But you get tired of all the tall and skinnies and the people moving in from rich areas and making everything more expensive and causing higher traffic. But
Yeah.
that aside, it's not a bad town.
That's good. That's good. Um, like myself, you're a photographer, and you've had some opportunities, which I was really jealous about, being a giant Beatles fan. You were in Liverpool and
Yeah.
photographing at the Cavern and everything. Tell us about that. That sounds like great fun.
Yeah, so my fiance, she's in a band that's an all-female Beatles tribute called Penny Lane, and they
Right.
played the International Beatles Fest in
Right.
Liverpool, and so they played a lot of the Cavern Club, and I got to be on stage taking pictures of them on film, like HP5
Nice.
and stuff, while they were performing. So that was really cool. I got to be in the green room, all that stuff. But not because I'm cool, it's because my fiance is cool.
There you go. You hang out with somebody that's cool, right? Yeah, that's awesome. So you're a DIY musician. Um, do you secure any outside help for your career to take off some of the pressure of some of the jobs that you do when it comes to your music? Or do you still 100% take care of everything?
Last record, I had enough funding, or I don't know if I had enough funding, but I made enough funding for a publicist. I had some management in between. Um, right now for this record, I'm doing it all on my own. But I do have a degree in PR, so I
Oh,
know how
really?
to do
Cool.
PR thing. Yeah, yeah. I've done social media management in the past before the glasses, the optical company, and so I've done a lot of things. I've done producing, I've done mixing, I've done mastering. So none of the, even though I'm taking on a lot on my own, I've done
Sure.
it all. So
Yeah.
it just takes longer when you got to do it all.
Yeah, exactly. That's crazy. Well, PR is a good thing to have under your belt because at least you got one step up. Do you do any PR? Have you ever done PR for any other musicians? Well,
Yeah, I worked with Steve Riley and the Mamu Playboys and Fofele. I've done some different artists in Nashville for like press releases and stuff like that. But I lately no, mostly just myself. But this go round, I'll be doing some stuff for me and Matt Moran, who I'll be touring with most of the summer.
right on. That's excellent. Yeah. Is your goal in Nashville now you went to Nashville because of a job and you needed to be there, but
Yeah.
it is it a goal to get a recording contract, or you're still wanting to maybe just keep a 100% control of your career rather than give it over to a label?
If it was the right situation, I think the goal is to make enough money to live off of, so I don't need any sort of other income.
Hmm.
Um, at this point in my career, I don't think that signing a record deal. I've seen a lot of friends that have signed record deals that still needed a job and had to pay off the record and do tour. So I think if it got to a point where it was on my terms, I think definitely, but I
Yeah.
don't releasing on my own label.
Yeah. I've had three guests on the show that have had contracts and walked away from them just for simply those reasons and that one of them said actually that having it when you're too young, a record contract can be more of a harm than anything else. um, when you're that young with all that pressure on you in that respect.
Well, I think it's a lot like when you're booking gigs, and you reach out to a venue and they go, you can play for tips, or you can play for $100, and
Yeah.
you're like, not worth my time. And that's kind of what a lot of these record label deals look like,
Yeah, right. Almost you're paying them.
Yeah,
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 that's exactly. I just saw that you and India Ramey, you host an Americana podcast, but you haven't had one out there since I think fall last year.
yeah.
Are we going to see that coming back again? Well,
That was the idea. The problem is that me and India are both so busy.
yeah, right.
We did rebrand it. We put out that episode for her, but um, it's on the back burner right now. I don't know when it'll come back. Maybe
Hmm.
when management and I'm doing it full time, so I can actually focus on or have someone booking the guests for me.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
a lot of it is just like you have to go through all the pitches and find the people that you resonate with, and then you got to read up on it and know about them. You're doing it right now.
Yeah, exactly. It's a lot easier with this format. I had another podcast where I was interviewing, big stars and
Yeah,
Chris DeBerg and Joe Satriani and all
yeah,
those guys. You're right. Yeah, there's a lot of work that goes into it, so I can totally understand. That's why I like this one. The guests are just like you and I.
yeah,
You
exactly.
know, pretty simple. Um, you do photos of other musicians. I noticed that on your website. You take promo shots for them.
Yeah.
I suppose that's probably a good thing to be doing in a city like Nashville, right?
Definitely. Yeah, I've done a few videos, but mainly photography. I mean, that's the passion is photography. You do video because people ask you and you know how to do it. But
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, it's nice to be able to make some money, but not extort people.
Yeah.
Give them a good deal to help them get some good photos for their press run. I mean, and I've been blessed to be in Washington Post.
Yeah.
I've been shoot, I can't even think. Bluegrass Situation,
Yeah.
America Fest. I've been all over the place. Nashville Noise, bunch of
Yeah.
different people have picked up my photos.
Yeah, I hear you. When I was doing it full time, I was Canadian Press and a
Yeah.
lot of newspapers all over the place, publications, that kind of stuff. It's great fun when it happens, I'll tell you. That's for sure.
Did you ever get any like AP stuff?
If it was AP, it was through CP,
Okay.
and
Oh,
then they
hey, yeah.
pump it out. Yeah, that's all right. I had a handler there. If I had shots, and I'd get an assignment or I'd fire just some I took. I thought, hey, maybe you could use this, and they go, okay, thanks, and they put it on the wire.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, and go from there. The current model for this music business right now, I think it's unsustainable the way it stands. And what do you think's going to happen, in your opinion? What's going to have to happen in order to make things better for us?
That's a great question, and I'm definitely not the person to know all the answers, but I have been fooling around with the idea of treating Spotify like a radio station and not releasing the full album. It's just
Hmm.
really it's really hard because I don't have any sort of voice to break the mold. So I don't know that it would make much of a difference only releasing singles on Spotify. But I
Gotcha.
think that when you treat it as I think the industry treats it like, oh, you got to have your album on Spotify, like when you release it because of the way that press works. But
Hmm.
when you, as a musician, treat it as just like a single platform, like you would radio, because I mean, we give our songs away to radio.
Sure.
This is in that form when you're not giving them the complete package. It feels like you have a little bit more control because if you want the package, if you like what you hear, you've got to buy the physical copy of it, right? Um, but you're not being as competitive as everyone else when you do that, right? So
Hmm.
like in the short term, maybe I'll sell, you know, 50 to 100 more copies of my record, but in the long term, am I, getting as much press? Am I, so it's like I've toyed with the idea of not releasing the record or releasing a lesser version of the record or something on Spotify.
Interesting.
I'm not sure yet though.
Yeah, exactly. There's been I've noticed a couple of musicians that I got to meet at a conference here for Folk Canada last year, and been discussing with them. And I've noticed there's a lot of almost like labor union type movement going on in some cities for musicians.
Nice.
Yeah, I've actually noticed there's a United Musicians and Other Workers or something like that that they have a presence on Instagram.
Mhm.
Is there any rumblings like that going on in Nashville where people are saying, the musicians are saying, okay, that's enough. We got to start organizing. Have you heard anything like that going on especially in a city like that?
In the pro level, there's always been union. So
Yeah,
you actually have to have a specific wage, so you can't take under union wage. Um, Obviously, I'm not constantly playing in the pro market, so I don't have like a union gig or anything like that. But
sure.
yeah, if you're in the pro market, like there's a set rate, you can't take under that rate. You got to follow all the guidelines. Um, so I mean that's always been standard in Nashville, especially in country music for the last
Hmm.
almost 100 years.
Yeah, really.
But my old bass player back in Louisiana, he worked for well, his dad was Jimmy C. Newman, and he worked for
Oh,
Tom T. Hall.
Jimmy C. Newman.
Yeah, yeah,
Lâche-moi la patate.
yeah.
You're a Louisiana guy. You're close to Canadian.
That's right. We're expats.
That's right.
We got
Acadian.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but Yeah, so he was actually union, but he would just like play with us under the table because we couldn't afford whatever 200-300 bucks.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, that was always fun. Gary Newman, he's still playing down in Louisiana.
That's nice. Excellent. Outstanding. Um, as far as your next album, you have any deadlines when you think you're going to get it released?
The official, well, the working, I don't know. It hasn't been announced. I'm not sure when you're releasing this, but uh, August is going to be when it should drop. So the
Cool.
idea is to do about 6 singles and then drop it in August. But
Right on.
I'll be touring with the record probably before then if I get it pressed.
Yeah, exactly. Now, answer me this when it comes to touring. You were around, of course, at COVID, um, and this is what a lot of the things we heard from everybody. It was like, oh, can't wait till COVID's over. Can't wait. And at least in Canada, what we've noticed is it's not the same audience that we had before COVID that we have after COVID. It's either thinner, or they don't stick around as long, they only want to go to certain types of shows. Have you noticed anything different now as opposed to pre-COVID in your own shows?
I've noticed some shows start earlier.
Yeah, there is that. That's the biggest one.
Um, it's hard to say because I'm in Nashville, but when I'm
Yeah.
on the road, it still feels decent. But yeah, I definitely think that it's hard to say too because like, I mostly tour during the summer. I don't tour during the colder months at this juncture in my life. And so usually I'm touring when everyone's out and about and wanting to go to concerts. So, um, you know, I would say in some of the venues I see less people, but overall it doesn't feel drastically different. But I, that might just be my point of view.
Gotcha. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Your new album is going to be called High as Willie?
No, it's gonna be called "Still Feeling the Pain." Highs Willie's the
Oh,
first single.
oh, High as Willie's the single. Is
Yeah.
that what we think it's about?
Yes. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, that's the single. Yeah, that's excellent. Yeah, it's a great tune actually, yeah. And they should check that out for sure. Other than the album, what's else going on for you? Well, what do you got coming up in 2025? Anything big, anything exciting?
Just touring, trying to go back to the UK.
Cool.
Going to Colorado for the first time, so that'll be fun. Wyoming too, first time in Wyoming and Colorado,
Right
playing
on.
that I remember anyway. I've been doing it for who knows, 25 years. So
Nice. Good stuff. You were just a baby.
I was, yeah, yeah. I'm just 41, so I was probably like 18. I don't know. Maybe it's not 25 years. Maybe it's 20 something.
Yeah,
But
exactly. Well, I can tell you it's great to have a relationship with someone who is also a musician, which you are. My wife is the same way. I mean,
yeah,
that's how we met. She toured actually from all the way from Brownsville, Texas, all the way up to this Canadian city, and then that's how I met her when she when she stayed. How's that?
wow.
Yeah. So it's always great when that kind of stuff comes together.
Yeah, she actually played on the record, so there'll be a few songs
Yeah.
where actually a Canadian played most of the record, Tim Curris.
Oh,
Um,
okay, cool.
yeah, he's dual citizen, so he tours with Emily Ninny mostly,
Oh yeah.
and he also
Yeah.
manages and is married to the lead singer of Bandito's band. Um, but he made some time for my record. He played um, some of the tracks, and then Steffi G played my fiance played the other tracks. So
What did he play?
drums,
And what does your fiance play?
drums,
She's at drums too. Oh, okay, cool. That's
yeah,
good. Yeah, my wife is a vocalist, so she takes care of all my backing vocals with that kind of with
that's
that
always
kind of.
yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty simple.
yeah.
Um,
She's a savant. She plays, all these like uh rhythmic, instruments. So it's not just drums, it's like, shakers and tambourines and glockenspiels and,
yeah,
the little frog, like whatever that thing is,
yeah.
all those.
All that fun stuff. Yeah, my wife, she has her degree in music. She says, you know, if you just want to take all the fun out of music, take music theory. She goes, that'll just take all the fun right out of it.
It is. It's like math. It's like let's make it like math.
Oh, it is. I know. Yeah. And
That's what country music's good for, man. It's just one, four, and five. I can count those.
yeah, see, one, four, and five. That's a few times I went to Nashville, and a couple of times I actually got on stage. It was really cool. I could just walk up to the band and go, "It's in the key of G in a one, four, five. It's got a six minor in the bridge. Here we go." And they're like, "No problem." That's what
Yeah.
always blew me away about those guys is the quality of musician in Nashville is just. My wife recorded a couple of songs down there. Oh my God. I was like done.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah,
We
it's
done. Done.
exactly. Well, I have a few folks actually, I have three folks that are from this area that live down in Nashville and they perform there too. Um, Shane Chisholm, he plays at one of the bars on a right. He plays a big gas tank bass that he made from a Ford Econoline. And um, um, Travis Haynes, he plays at he used to play at Tootsie's. Now he's at another place. And Crystal Shawanda, and she's from this area too, and she's been
Oh,
doing quite well. Yeah, so the few people I know in Nashville.
yeah.
There you go.
There's so
What?
many people here.
Yeah, exactly. Will, tell the folks where they can find about you and your socials and your website and music and stuff.
Yeah, I'm on willpayneharrison.com. That's Payne. Is my website, and then I'm on all the socials. I think the only one I'm not Will Payne Harrison on is Xer or whatever, Twitter, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
It's Will P Harrison there, but it's Will Payne Harrison everywhere else.
gotcha. Excellent.
And only you won't see another one except my dad.
There you go. Oh, well, to me, you got the greatest name, man. It's perfect. It's fit for country music. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's like there's another guy, Todd Day Wait, and I
Yeah,
went, yeah, and I went, oh,
yeah,
that's a perfect name for that.
yeah, yeah. My grandpa was Will Payne. He always went by Will Payne, and I just went by Will. But whenever I was, starting to do the artist thing, if you Google Will Harrison, I was just in a sea of Will Harrison, just like John Smith, man. So putting my middle name there, I think was the move, and
There you
kind of
go.
grandpa.
There you go. So you don't get confused with his dad or his grandpa. It's Will Payne Harrison, folks. Just Google
Yeah.
that. You'll find him all over there. Thanks again for. I know you running a busy time there, Will, and between photography and trying to make a life for yourself, and I know what that's like. So thank you again for coming on the program. I much appreciate it.
It's so great to finally talk to you in person, seeing you
Yeah,
on socials and everything. So,
yeah, exactly.
and hopefully I'll get out to Canada at some point.
It would be lovely, man. The bigger cities, of course, where you're going to draw, but
Yeah.
hey, we're pretty mobile here. We're not too far from anything. So, hey, if you're close enough, you might see me there. You never know.
I
Right,
hope
never.
so.
Yeah. Fantastic, folks. Thank you again, Will, for being on the program. We'll keep you up to date on what's going on with Will too, because we like to follow along with our folks. So, thanks again.
All right. Have a good one.
You too, man. We'll see you. Bye-bye. Rock and roll may live forever, but we only retire once. Kevin Lamour of Our Financial Plans and Quadris Investment Services offers a large range of financial solutions from some of the biggest leaders in the investment and insurance landscape of Canada. See how a solid financial plan built with friendly and professional advice can help. Find out more at ourfinancialplans.ca or give them a call at 705 949 1316.